What's up, guys? It's Taya. Today is currently Sunday, May the 20th. And I'm here for my monthly update, I guess, which includes Maynia. I got a stack of whips over here. See if I can show you. Stack of whips over here. I have a few things haul-wise in the floor over here to show you. It's not going to be a lot, but I do have a few things. So, other than that, it's going to be a little bit longer than my standard video. At least the ones that I've been doing recently. So, sit back, grab your stitching, grab a drink, a snack, whatever, and just go with me here. I will start with the one thing that I've been working on, which is the Crabby All Year series. This is it. Yeah. This is currently the April through June, which is what I'm on. I'm still on April. I'm sorry. I'm still on April. It should be no surprise that I'm a little bit behind on that. Sorry. Because I was getting little chunks of time to work on it in April, and then at the beginning of May, of course, I had Maynia, and so I was getting to spend my little chunks of stitching time on my starts in May. So I got a little bit behind, but I have been working on it for the last couple of days. It's just a very large chunk of color, to be honest. And this is what it looks like so far. As you can see, I'm working on the tax form down there. Very large chunk of color. And things are going to become showing so much lighter than they actually are. I apologize, I can't do anything about it. It's the window right there. It's just the way the sun's coming in. I still have to finish the rest of the tax form down here. And there's a pencil on the side that needs to be done. Then there's a couple of question marks here. Those need to be done. All that needs to be done before I can move on to May, which will probably be at the end of the month, so I'll probably end up going over into June as always. So, but yeah, this pattern has a lot of large chunks of color, so if you're not a fan of large chunks of color, then this pattern may not be the one for you. It's cute, it's funny, but this right here, it's a huge chunk of color. That snow right there, it's a huge chunk of color. And I'm sure those won't be the last. And this right here, I want to tell you something here. This right here, and then the vase are actually both in 618. And I'm almost out of 618. I have one length of thread left. And I just pulled out the first strand of it, so I mean, it's a pretty long strand, but I'm thinking I may end up needing to get another skein of 618. Where all that 618 went, I don't know. But it's in the car, windows, the vase, and the tax form. Other than that, I don't know where the rest of it went. And if you're not keeping up, this is on 32 count Ale Belfast by Picture This Plus. And I got my Perry needle minder because he's crabby too. This will actually stay out because I'm still going to be working on it. I'm just going to go ahead and set that in there for right now. Sorry. I'm sorry, not 618, 168. Yeah, that's all the 168 I have left. So, yeah. May or may not end up needing another skein of that. So now we get into Maynia. And if you're going off of the list that I gave back in my video at the end of last year for my whole 2018 plans, they got changed up a bit because some things I wasn't quite ready to start, like I didn't have the thread just yet, or I still needed to find fabric for it. Maynia is no joke, y'all. It's for serious stitchers. So the order may have got changed up a bit on some of these things from what I originally planned. Like the thing that I started on the first day was actually what I was supposed to be starting on the second day. But then that got moved around to later in Maynia. And then one other thing that I was planning in May, one other thing that I was planning on starting for Maynia actually didn't get started. It got switched out for a kit from December that I had planned on doing in December, because it's 90% Krennic, and when I went to get the Krennic at the LNS down here, the stitching frame, they only had like 2 of the, I think it's 4 or 5 colors total, and they only had like a couple of colors, so I'm just going to wait and order all those together so I don't confuse myself. But I switched it out, so the one that was in December, that I was going to do in December, I did in May, and the one with the Krennic that I was going to do here in May, it got moved to December. So, but let's move on to what I actually did start. The first thing that I started on May 1st was the Fireside Originals Steampunk Luna Moth. And all these metal bits right here, the silver, that's actually a bead or something. I don't remember, but it's like a little charm. All those metal chains that you see, just jewelry chains, apparently, that they say you can find at Walmart. And I started this on the 32 count Belfast in Iris by Under the Sea Fabrics. And yeah, I still got some white hanging down. And that's what I got done. That's the body, and then one half of the top of the wing. So, and then I got that right there. They come as a button set of 4 buttons from a shop on Etsy. And you have the option to get them with either a pin back or a magnet back. And I just got the magnet back so that I just add the other magnet and bam, needle minder. But yeah, that's my meat group needle minder. And if you don't get it, it's from one of my favorite movies, Encino Man. It's going to be a very large stack of whips. On May the 2nd, I started the Fraktur Flowers by Lottie Da. And the funny thing is, somebody else actually started this on the same day as well. Great minds. And it shows it on a very mottled gray fabric. I don't know if you can tell that, but they do. I just started this on, actually I did go to, I got this when I went to the stitching frame. And I saw this fabric and I just could not, I tried, just could not let myself leave the store without it. But I started it. It is a 32 count, I'm trying to remember, hold on, I'll tell you. Yeah, it's a 32 count Lugana in Stormy Night. It says Zweigart. It's a Zweigart fabric. And it's printed. It's one of those printed ones that Zweigart likes to do. So you can see there's nothing on the back. But it has this beautiful bluish, grayish modeling. It's going to be hard to see with that sun. But yeah, it's, you kind of can see it here. But yeah, it's a beautiful fabric, I think. So, and then my little flower needle minder. And I think I got that from No Name Needle Minders, I think. Don't quote me on anything. With the, I'm using the DMC alternatives to these. It does chart it in General Arts and DMC. I'm just using the DMC alternatives. Because by the time it's all stitched up, you're not going to tell. It's probably still going to be just as beautiful. On May the 3rd, this was one of the ones I was having trouble, like I still needed to come up with the fabric to do it on. And I started one of the chairs. Which one did I start? Oh. I could take it out of the package. Well, I started the fall chair part in Janlynn. Yeah, there you go. I started that one there. And as counterintuitive as you would think it would be, I stitched it on the piece of 28 count that I got from Stitchy Box, my last Stitchy Box. It is a 28 count linen, it's a fat eighth of it. I just used the whole thing basically. And that's what I got done. That's one of the leg of the chairs, and that's part of the back of it. And this fabric is like, it's really, really bright yellow, and it's totally not going to come up. It's totally not going to show up. Like, you see that color yellow? Just picture that on the whole thing. Yeah. But yeah, that's all I got done on that. And then that's Blanche. That I got from the Everyday Stitcher. Did I tell you what the name of the fabric was? It's called Moon Glow. No time for a fancy envelope on this one. May 4th. I started, it's a freebie that's still available on their blog. It's Dutch Tulip by Threadworks Primitives. Like I said, it's a freebie that's still available, so yes, I'm showing the pattern. And I'm doing this in the charted for Gast on a piece of, it's supposed to be a 28 count MCG even weave, but we know MCG, no. And I'm actually doing this, I think I did it in 3 strands, if I'm not mistaken. I don't remember. Shoot. Anyway, I'm doing this in the charted Gast. I actually had all day to work on this one, that's why I got so much of it done. It was a day that I was off work. The 4th would have been, yeah, it would have been a Friday. We didn't have to work that day. And then just a little small fan needle minder. I don't remember where I got that from. It might have been a freebie from the Everyday Stitcher, I don't remember. Or it might have been something that she happened to send as a freebie, I don't remember. Did I say I don't remember where I got that needle minder at? Then on the 5th, oh, that fabric, it was a 28 count. It was the color that looks like oatmeal, but they call it, what do they call it? I don't know. It's a tan looking even weave that they have, but I had put some dye on it to make it look like older, so that's why it looks like that. May 5th. May 5th, I actually ended up changing the fabric that I was going to put this on, because somehow, some reason, I figured it wrong. I'm going to do the whole thing on one piece of fabric, but I figured it wrong. For some reason, in my original mathematics, I figured 4 rows of 6, or something like that. But that there's 25 animals. So basically, the only way you can do them is 5 by 5, 5 rows of 5. At least if you want it to be even. So I got this fabric, and I'm gonna make it work. And I'm not showing you the pattern, because I actually ended up finishing it the following morning. So this is Katie Kitty, part of the Brooks Books Advent Animals, which is free on Crapsy. Isn't she cute? She's so cute. I worked as long as I could on this on the 5th, and I got everything else except for the what did I not finish? I didn't finish the fish. I know that much. And I think this is supposed to be like one of those gingerbread cookie ornaments, because the white right there is like icing. I think that's what it's supposed to be. And then the white backstitched stars I had to do. I think there was something else I needed to do. I think I needed to do the bottom of the skates or something. But there was only a few things left that I still needed to do. And I was able to finish those up within probably a couple hours on the 6th, the morning of the 6th. So I had to start and a finish. So that was exciting. And just to let you know, that's the only finish that I had this month. So I'm going to put that in. I'd like to, in 2019, I would like to work on these animals. There's 24 more to do. I'd like to make a plan to work on them in 2019, at least maybe on the same day of the month, every month or something. But we'll see. I gotta get to 2019 first. On the 6th, I started the vintage glassware. And this was in the Just Cross Stitch April 2017 edition. This was another one that I had a lot of trouble figuring out what to put it on, because there's so many colors in this pattern. Like you really have to match it up just right. But I decided to make use of another even weave that I got. This is my start. And this is on the 32 count dreamsicle. Right, let me double check. I should get this somewhere, I think. Yeah, 32 count Lugana, yeah. See, I forget fabrics too often. 32 count Lugana in Dreamsicle by Under the Sea Fabrics. That's all I got done. And you would think, this being on the 6th, which was a Sunday, that I would have had a lot of time to work on it, but I didn't. I was out and about that day. So that's all I got. And then little, kind of a bakery milk shop type needle minder. I got that from Minding My Minders a while back. One of my last orders, I think. Already at 20 minutes. Then on the 7th, I started the Heartstring Samplery, his eyes on the Sparrow. I'll show it without the glare. If I'm going to do a sampler, it's going to be a busy sampler. So yeah. And I begrudgingly started this on the 40 count, what was it, Mellow. Yeah, 40 count Mellow by Picture This Plus. And I say begrudgingly because I didn't really want to start it on a yellow fabric, but this was the best option I had. And I knew I was going to have to start this pattern on 40 count, so it was really the only option I had. Because the other fabrics that I gotten in 40 counts was purple and like blue, so yeah, this was the best option. So that's all I got done. That tree, and then the bottom of the basket that's above it. Here we go. You can see that. And then my little stained glass stove from the Everyday Stitcher. I love working on 40 count. I love working on 40 count, I really do. But my brain can only take so much of it. Not my eyes, because I have magnifiers. My brain can only take so much of it at a time, which is fine. That's also why I haven't worked on the coffee quaker that much, because it's also in 40 count. But I need to work on that eventually. May 7th, I started the ink circles, one of the RYO Mandalas, and I started one on this style. And I say I started one in that style because I'm doing it in my own colors. These are the colors that I'm doing it in. Although they haven't all yet come into play. This is a 16 count Naiad by Under the Sea Fabrics. I'm trying to remember which way is up. This way is up. The only thing about mandalas is you gotta figure out you gotta remember which way is up. That's all I've got done on that one. Not very much. There's just some teal and then light and medium purples in there. And then the black outline. And then, nice needle minder. Where did I get that one from? I think I may have gotten it from Gina's. Again, don't quote me on that. I figure what's the point in wasting an envelope when the bag it came in, it's just as good. What was I on? May the 8th? I think. May the 8th, right? May 9th, sorry. That was the 8th. This is the 9th. I love this. I so love this piece. I really want to start working on it. In fact, I think I might work on that today until the end of the day, which is the Walk Fast Sampler by Lindy Stitches. Wonderfully funny quote from Golden Girls. apologize if you can hear the dogs and the barking in the background. Those are the dogs outside. They bark at everything. This is how far I got on this. And this is a 16 count legacy by Picture This Plus. This is Ada. As you can see, as you can tell, you can literally tell exactly what I was working on. I was working on the fish leash. And then I can't have a sampler about Rose from Golden Girls without my Rose needle minder. I got the whole set of 4 of them. Her, Dorothy, Blanche, and Sophia. I got all 4 of them from the Everyday Stitcher. I don't think she has them anymore, but maybe one day she might get them back in stock. Maybe, possibly. I love this. I loved working on this. It was so fun. That's why I said I really want to work on this again. And then on the 10th, in case you're wondering what I'm checking. Yeah. In case you're wondering what I'm checking my Instagram, where I posted each day of what I started. It's the easiest way to keep up. Day 10, it was a freebie that was provided with a purchase that I got at from an LNS, a delivery shipment that I got, that I had ordered. And I didn't quite get this finished, but this is just called Autumn Leaf. That's as far as I got on it. No, those aren't filled in yet, but they need to be filled in. And then obviously there's, I need to finish that one, and then there's another one just like this on the other side. And then there's like an acorn here. It wouldn't take that long for me to finish it. I could probably finish it in the rest of the day if I wanted to, but I don't want to. I try not to just like go ahead and finish all my littles, like just like right off the bat. I try to keep them around because they can be good like car projects. Day 10. Sorry. How did I get off so much? Walk Fast was the 9th. The 10th was Autumn Leaf. So that was a 10th. And 11. See, I can't remember numbers to save my life. The 11th, I started the Cool Bean series by Hands On Design. It's all these little miniature ones, but don't get excited. Because I am doing all these on one piece of fabric, and there's a border, which is provided free of charge if you so want to do them all on one piece of fabric, which I am. So really, the only thing I got done was a piece of the border. Not even the whole border, a piece of the border. And this is being done on 16 count Murmur by Picture This Plus. It's a very, very pale peachy color, if anybody knows what Murmur looks like. That's all I got done on that. That's just two sides of one block. It's a decent sized piece. It's a decent sized pattern when you do them all on one. So I tried my best to find a picture of what they all look like on one piece. But unfortunately, I was only able to find a picture of 3 of them done on together with the border. I don't know if I still have it. Yeah. This is what 3 of them is going to look like. Turn my thing down a bit. This is what 3 of them is going to look like on the fabric. That's the border. That's the one with the border. And she started with just 3 of them together. So that's what I'm doing. I basically started up here, I think. Yeah. And basically this is what I did up here. So just that top, this line right here, that line right there, and then that line right there, and then those 3 beans. That's all I did. Yeah. So, but yeah, I didn't get a lot done on this. My Rip Hunter needle minder from the Everyday Stitcher, just to have an excuse to put it on there. I don't have any more coffee related needle minders, so I need to get some. So very large. This is a half yard if anybody cares. And I needed it strictly for the width. But there will be some extra along the bottom. Of course, I think I did go in like 6 inches. So there will be plenty of room for framing and such. I'm one of them people that I would rather have extra fabric for framing or whatever my finishing is than to cut it so close like I did that Brooks Books one. And I only went ahead and started it on that because I didn't have any other choice. I didn't have any other fabric that I could do that on. Okay. The 12th, I did save these for day. These next 2 I saved. I purposefully rearranged some of the ones from that week leading up to these so that I could purposely work on this one and the next one so I could have a whole day to work on each one. Days when I didn't have to go to work or anything, or I didn't have any plans. So on the 12th, I started Mirabilia, Aphrodite, Mermaid. And in case you're wondering, I'll go ahead and show you now. I was in this area right here where her fin is. And I started this on a very special piece of fabric. A piece of fabric that I got from Cindy Sorley at Stitchery Express. Otherwise known as Fabric Flare. And this is called, the actual name of this is actually called Grace's Ocean. How pretty is that? That's going to be gorgeous on that fabric. It's going to be absolutely gorgeous. That's all I got done. That's just a lot of black outlining with a little bit of teal blue. I didn't want to do just black. So then my Ariel, I have an Ariel needle minder from No Name Needle Minders. Like a stylized Little Mermaid. And then on the 13th, I started the Southern Social. Sorry, I had to look back at it. Dimensions Gold Kit, Southern Social. Just FYI, if you hear something that sounds like squeaking, it's my roommate's dog. My roommate is gone to a friend's house to play video games. And every time he leaves the house, the dog starts whining at some point. And usually he's okay for a few minutes after he leaves. But once he's gone for so long, then the dog will start whining. And then the dogs outside have been barking for no reason whatsoever. Come on. Come here. Come here. Come here. Or don't. Why are you looking at that? Come here. Come here. I apologize. this, and I just started this on the included 18 count Ada. I thought I had a Gone with the Wind needle minder, but I think it's on one of my other projects, so I don't know. I wouldn't even begin to know where to start, where to look for that. It's it's just the Scarlet O'Hara. It's like black and white with her sitting down, I think. So I went to the next best thing, was like country. So that's all I got done. There's some doorways and windows and whatnot. A person standing there. So, and guess what? I actually started it with the right orientation this time. Yeah, the only difference is I had to go through and organize the flosses. I actually did that the night before. I actually did that 2 nights. Over the course of 2 nights before I started it. Because it was taking me a while. So yeah, there's these. Anyway, you can see I had to. They included these little floss card things, so they included 3 of them, but I really only used 1.5. Probably because I grouped more strands of floss together than they suggested on some of these. So yeah. And I am keeping it in the bag. I wish they still did that. That's a neat idea. Then on the 14th, yeah. On the 14th, I started the Susanna Rambo 1836 sampler. This was in the February 2017 Just Cross Stitch. This was part 1, which is technically just this right here, the text. I started it on this 28 count even weave, Antique White. That's the name of it, Antique White. And I am using the called for Weeks Dyeworks, but I think I started it too high, so that I'm gonna have to probably rip this out and redo it lower down, because that's the bad thing about when you have these part 1, part 2, especially when part 1 was the tags, part 2 was the flowers and such below it, and part 3 was actually that flower border. So it's not exactly in the middle. But really, this is what I got done. Again, this is that MCG even weave 28 count Antique White, and I am doing this with the call for Weeks Dyeworks, but I'm doing it in 3 strands instead of 2, just for coverage sake. So, and then my little fox needle minder, which I actually made. I think it's too high. What you guys think? And this is actually, I'm trying to think. This is this right here. It says learn my God. It's actually this right here. So I'm thinking I might need to go down on this a little bit. Or I may need to find part 2 and actually start where the middle part of the pattern is on that. Or put them both together and figure it out. Because this is how the rim I have. So, yeah, I think I might need to start that lower because I think it's too high. I think I need to go down to like here. So, but they told where to start, like how to find where to start, and they said, find the middle of this part of the pattern, but then start 5 inches lower. 5 inches lower is the middle of the pattern, which is what I did. I think that's what I did. Go figure. I don't know. I'll come back to it eventually. Sorry, I'm putting my floss back in there so I know where it's at. And then finally, on the 15th is when I had to switch out the other pattern because I wasn't ready for it. I started the, it's Candamar Designs. It's actually a kit that I got off Listia back last year. The Mitten sampler ornament. And the kit did come with the felt for the backing. It come with the floss and the beads as well. As well as the fabric. Of course, a little piece of, crappy piece of 14 count fabric. And this is all I got done, was the metallic. Yep. That's what happens when you only have a couple of hours to do stitching in the morning. Like I said, just the included white 14 count fabric. I wasn't sure how many strands of the acrylic of the metallic to do. I figured it did say 2, but me being such a coverage snob, I doubled it, and I hope I have enough. If not, I'll just probably get DMC. It's just as crappy, and finish it. You gonna lay down? He likes getting under the cover. Little chihuahuas, you know, they're always cold. No, you can't go down there. They're stuck on top of the cover. What are you doing? Stop. Yeah, just come over and lay down. Lay down next to me. So that's all my starts for Maynia. I hoped it was everything you expected. And I guess the only thing left for me to cover is some new haul. I got my 40 count fabric for the month of April. Yeah. 40 count fabric for the month of April. This is Bramble. If you remember, I am subscribed to the like a fabric of the month through Needlecraft Corner. It's Picture This Plus. I really wish. I'm gonna try something here real quick. That's a little better. It's called Bramble, so it's a dirty grayish tan color, but that'll be good for another sampler. And then they always send like these little freebie charts. This month it's, you know, Easter and spring. I'm not gonna show them. And I'm not really usually crazy about Easter and spring patterns, you know, specifically Easter. But I did like this one. It's by Lizzie Kate. It's just the big word spring in their style of writing with the row of baskets underneath. It was really cute. I do like that one. That'll be a good little small start for another day next year. Put this back in there. And then a few weeks ago there was a book sale at my local library, which they do every year. And I did manage to find one cross-stitch book. It's Style & Cooler's Cross-Stitch Flowers. And in case you're wondering, they had every book every book except for their collectible ones, which were like old, super old ones. Every book, every paperback was $1, and every hardback like this was $2. So it just lets you know how much I paid for it. I'll try to do a quick flip through if anybody's interested. They have different sections. They have sections on your section with coasters in it. He's pitiful. I'm trying to see something real quick. Okay. I'll just go over some of the main sections. There's a section on coasters. Especially this one, I think is really pretty. The iris one. That's just the beginning. Like there's another one with sunflowers. That other sunflower with the star-shaped coaster. The one that was in the shrub rose coaster. Pink cabbage coaster is another one that was in the beginning of the section. Columbine coaster. Columbine. I don't know what you would call that. Bleeding Heart. These would be really good for somebody that loves flowers. Cyclamen. Violet. And then we have Then we have different ones for frames. There's one that's not. This one's called Lily on the Cross. A color variation. This one they have two different color variations. One is this more blue color, and one is a gold color. I'm gonna show you the one they have framed up first. That's the Lilies on the Cross. That's the main. That's one color variation, and they have another color variation in here that they show, which is more gold. I like this one. I like this one. If I were to do that pattern, it's probably the color variation I would do. Then they have a classic dahlia. And they have another color variation idea on the dahlia, which is more purples. This just says use floss color of your choice. Okay, so they don't give the color variation. They tell it. They show it. Then we have a Home Sweet Home. And it also has another color variation. This one, the only thing that looks different possibly between the main one and the variation is the color of that border. It's a sunflower one. And the color variation one, they changed the color of the border from black to brown. Otherwise it looks the same. We have a cute little I Love You bear. He's small. He's only 45 by 46 stitches. And we have sunflower seeds. Some of these I'm having to be careful because the pattern is on the other page. This one I fell in love with. This one I absolutely love. I'm not a huge flower lover or anything, but I just think this one is beautiful. Iris. Isn't that gorgeous? That's gorgeous. And you could, of course, you could do it without the word iris. Sorry. You could, of course, do it without the word iris, which they do also suggest. But that's beautiful. Then we have I'd Rather Be Gardening. Show it. I'd Rather Be Gardening. That's really pretty too. You could also do that one without the words. Then we have Alluring Amaryllis. Flower Garden Fairy. It's really cute. Has like a little poem in there, which I'm not going to read. You can pause it and read it if you want to. Then we have Luscious Tree Peony. I never know how to say that. Peony, peony. Then we have a few purses that they give us directions for. Just going to show you this section right here. I really like that black one down there at the bottom. I wouldn't carry a little purse like that, but it's cute. And of course, there's another one on this page right here too. Yeah. I'm just going to skip on past. If there's any different ones, you get the idea. Then they have a section for pillows, which of course you don't have to do these as pillows. You have Yellow Rose. Then we have Friendship is a Rose. A Rose is a Rose. The Ultimate Rose. These pages are sticking together. Mixed Bouquet. If I can get to it. Some of these, it has the pattern first with the title, and then the picture of it, of the finished one, is at the end. That's what I'm having to do. Mixed Bouquet. That one's really pretty too. If I did that one as a pillow, it would not have ruffles. Sorry. And that's it. It just gives you the pattern for what to cut out for those little purses. So again, that is the Donna Cooler's Cross Stitch Flowers. Lots of pretty patterns in that one. I do really like getting these books because they have a lot of different options in them. And of course, I got the Just Cross Stitch. I did take it out. Of course, I did finally get my June 2018 Just Cross Stitch. Best way for me to do this is just to show you the back page. I like how they do this. I like how they started doing this eventually sometime to show you the patterns that are in here. That stained glass tree, like the one this one that's on the cover, I really like that one too. And this right here, this is all, it's black work, but it's not black. Let's just do this. Might as well. First we have Summertime. This is by Liz Almond, if you can't guess. She always comes up with the most gorgeous stuff. I'm telling you. Summertime. snoozing in sunshine. That's cute. This should really only take a couple of minutes. Sweet Garden, another pillow option. And I could see probably doing each one of these. You could also do each one separately, or because there's 1, 2, 3, 4. Looks like there's 4 different patterns technically. Then we have Golden Flower Tote. I was about to say Golden Flower Tree. Golden Flower Tote. Maybe you bee lovers would like that. Summer Cottage Landscape. I do like this one too, but I couldn't see myself ever actually stitching it. And they did go back to black and white, mostly black and white charts, except for back stitching colors. Herbs and Spices. I guess there was too much of an uproar over the colored patterns. Herbs and Spices. I do like how they have that as kind of a wall hanging. Magical Fairies, and I believe this one is by Leslie Tier, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, this one is by Leslie Tier. She has one of those kind of styles. Then we have Petite Griffin. And it goes off of their historical feature, but there's a Petite Griffin that is pretty. It's really pretty. Lovely Bride's Jewelry Roll Part 3. But here's the whole entire thing. Paradise Wedding Sampler. Come here. Daddy's not going to be home for a while. He might as well come lay down. This dog is spoiled rotten. Like he's looking at the door. He's literally staring at the door waiting for him to come in or something. And we have Daisy. Kudos on their dark fabric choice. Heart Scissors Pocket. Then we have Hearts on a String. That's cute. Again, don't see myself actually stitching that, but it is cute. Rose Cottage Needlebook. That's by Nikki's Creations. And then I think this might be the last one. Nope, I was wrong. Gifts for Dad and Mom. They have Fisherman Dad and Love Note for Mom. Mother and Father's Day stitching. Then we have Mini Bunnies, which I do believe. Mini Bunnies. Those are cute. May and June. And then there is one more, which is its Christmas stitch. The Christmas stitch is called It's Santa. It's really cute. And I do believe that's it. Yep. I do believe that would be it. And that is the June 2018 Just Cross Stitch. And lastly, okay. Lastly is the May-June Cross Stitch Gold. And these don't have as many patterns in them as Just Cross Stitches, so this shouldn't take long. First, we have Among the Tulips. Nice little Dutch looking sampler picture. And we have April Showers. He's not coming home yet. See if I just try to talk to him, he just whines more. Then we have Down on the Farm. And you could probably stitch all those motifs individually if you wanted to. And we have Love and Friendship. There's a lot of articles and stuff in this magazine. That's why they don't have room for enough. That's why they don't have enough room for more projects. Storytime Teddies. Sweet Dreams Pillow. This one I love, and this would be the one I would stitch the most out of this magazine. It's called Dragonfly Dance. Isn't that gorgeous? I just love those big blocks of color, those bright, the purples and the teals, magentas. That's really pretty. And then we have some Vintage Blooms bookmarks. And maybe it actually. Yeah, it's actually it. So there's that one. And yeah, I think we've finally come to the end of it, huh? That's all my stitching stuff. The only thing I can say, I do have my book. Hold on, I need to take guys. That's cranberry ginger ale. I did finish this one. This one, I finally was able to get my hands on this a few weeks ago. And I know it was 3 weeks ago because it's due back this coming Wednesday. And you're able to check books out for 3 weeks at a time. I was finally able to get my hands on this one. This is that third book in the series that I was talking about. Just finished it this morning. And I will definitely be looking for book number 4 whenever I get to the library on Wednesday. I did pick up a couple of graphic novels. One of them, I don't know, I kind of changed my mind on whether or not I actually want to read it. The other one, I need to renew it so that I can actually read it. But this one, this is that series that I was talking about in my last video. That's like, it's in the romance section, but it's a little bit more than romance, but these these books do have a great backstory. If you don't mind the sex, there's more sex in the first one than there is in the other one. So just putting that out there. But it has a great backstory. This being the third book, it kind of wraps a bow on the first of these three brothers. The prologue in this book actually, it sets up the story for the oldest brother, because this one is the middle brother. The next book in the series will get into the oldest brother, and they'll probably spend a few books on him too. So I figure if there's 9 books in this series and there's three brothers, it probably spends 3 books on each brother. So I highly recommend this series. If you like romance novels, it could go either way, because it's not those romance novels that has the lady with the flowing dress and on the beach with the waves and the muscular guy. It's not one of those romance novels. It's down and dirty. When they do show the two people getting together, it's down and dirty. So there's some lighter stuff in here too, but yeah, I really like this series. And like I said in my last video, I'm not into romance books at all, and I really like that series just for the backstory. But I do plan on getting other books. Actually, hold that thought. I did get a lot of other books at that book sale. So, hold on. Okay, I'm back. If I hadn't started talking about that book, I would have completely forgot to show you what else I got. Yeah, I picked up more than just that one book at the book sale. And you would think with all these books, I would have enough books. I didn't need to keep going to the library to rent the one. This one I got in, I don't remember getting this. Oh, okay. Yeah, this is why I got it. This is called The Space Between. It's by Brenna Yovanov. And I'll read the story to tell you why I got this book. Everything burns in pandemonium, a city in hell made of chrome and steel, where there is no future and life is an expanse of frozen time. That's where Daphne lives. The daughter of a demon and a fallen angel, she wonders what lies in store for her. Will she become a soulless demon like her sisters, or follow in the footsteps of her brother Obi, whose life is devoted to saving lost souls on Earth? All she wants is to find a place where she belongs. When Obi saves a bleeding, broken boy named Truman from the brink of death and then suddenly goes missing, Daphne runs away to Earth to find him. But on Earth, everything is colder and more terrifying, and Daphne struggles between her demon instincts and her growing yet achingly unfamiliar feelings for Truman. As Daphne and Truman search for Obi, they must navigate the jealousies and alliances of the violent archangels who stand in their way. But Daphne also discovers, unexpectedly, what it means to love and be human in a world where human is the hardest thing to be. So, picked up that. I'm always on the search for something different, you know? Then I got this, Titanic Voices from the Disaster. And this is actually like a little collection of tidbits of, like you get a diagram of the ship. This book has not even been cracked open. You get pictures. It's kind of like a little, it puts in the story form about different characters, different people. Critically acclaimed author Deborah Hopkinson weaves together the voices of Titanic survivors and witnesses to the disaster to bring the horrors of that terrible night to life. There's 9-year-old Frankie Goldsmith, Violet Jessup, a young stewardess, Jack Thayer, an American high school senior, Colonel Archibald Gracie, a well-to-do gentleman, William Murdoch, a brave seaman, Charlotte Collier, a young mother on her way to start a new life, and many others. The recollections are filled with heart-stopping action, devastating drama, and fascinating historical details. Now the saga of the Titanic is told in a brand new way, as together with a trove of historical photographs and illustrations, the stories of these survivors capture the fateful voyage, when the majestic liner celebrated launch in Belfast to her cataclysmic icy end, and the Carpathia's rescue of the survivors. So I don't know if these are like true tales, like true recollections. It sounds like these are actually true recollections of the survivors. There's that. I love Titanic stuff. I picked up some Tammy Hogue, who is one of my favorite authors. I picked up Dusk to Dusk. I have the first one in this series. I have the first one on audio form in Audible, which I haven't listened to yet. So I need to listen to that one first before I can listen to this one, before I can read this one. And I also picked up Tammy Hogue Dark Horse. I picked up, as in yet another Tammy Hogue. It's called Prior Bad Acts. This one looks really interesting. Kathy Reich's Deadly Decisions. I think this is one of her older books. If I'm not mistaken. See if I can find a year on this. 2000, yeah. It's one of her slightly older books. And I found this one. Sorry. This one I'm really, really interested in, although I have not cracked it open yet. This is a really thick book, as you can see. It's called Letters of the Century, 1900 to 1999. This book is made up entirely of letters that have been sent through the mail. Entirely. They do give a little bit of context to each one. I think there's a short one that I can... I mean, these are everything from plain regular people to colonel and presidents and, you know, just... There's a letter in here that says name withheld. This is what they would call redacted. There's a letter in here that has been redacted, just to give you an idea. From June 30th, 1943, Robert Hendon to Clyde Tolson at the Federal Bureau of Investigation. Franklin Roosevelt to J. Robert Oppenheimer. You know, just different letters that... 1930, Michael Cullen to the president of Kroger, which is a store, grocery store. You know, laying out the cost of what, you know, laying out his costs, you know, and just, it's so interesting to read these. Here's a short one. December 6, 1950. Harry Truman to Paul Hume. And it does give a little bit of a background on this. On December 5th, President Truman's daughter Margaret, an aspiring opera singer, gave a concert at Constitution Hall before a glittering Washington audience of 3,500. In the Washington Post the next morning, music critic Paul Hume offered a straightforward opinion. Miss Truman, Hume wrote, cannot sing very well. Responding to the review in this note, Truman made no pretense of presidential neutrality, exercising what he later told Margaret was the right to be both a president and a human being. Hardly an old man, Hume was 35. Westbrook Pegler was a Pulitzer Prize-winning, often controversial journalist. It's sent from the White House in Washington. Mr. Hume, I've just read your lousy review of Margaret's concert. I've come to the conclusion that you are an 8-ulcer man on 4-ulcer pay. It seems to me that you're a frustrated old man who wishes he could have been successful. When you write such poppycock as was in the back section of the paper you work for, it shows conclusively that you're off the beam and at least 4 of your ulcers are at work. Someday I hope to meet you. When that happens, you'll need a new nose, a lot of beefsteak for black eyes, and perhaps a supporter below. Pegler, a gutter snipe, is a gentleman alongside you. I hope you'll accept that statement as a worse insult than a reflection on your ancestry. Signed, HST. That was one of our former presidents to a critic who very badly criticized his daughter's performance. Yeah. So, this book is chock full of letters. Chock full of letters. And I really, really want to read more of these, actually. And then finally, I only have one book here, but the other one is very similar. I got, don't ask me why, because I've had an interest in wanting to start this for some time. I got Yoga for Dummies. And I also picked up Sewing for Dummies. So, but keep in mind, these were only $1. This huge book right here was $2. Every hardback book was $2, and every soft cover book was $1. So I racked up, huh? When I'll actually start any of those books, I don't know. I'm still deeply into the romance series that I've been reading, and I have a ton more books that's in storage at my mom's house that I still haven't read. I just like collecting books. Like, I'm gonna need a bookcase for books that I haven't even read yet, that I buy because I'm interested, but I haven't read yet. So, finally went and saw Deadpool this past weekend, this Friday, and it was awesome. It was awesome in the most awesome way you could be awesome. Lots of laughs. I think the biggest laugh came in the one scene, without giving too much spoilers. He basically gets himself ripped in half, and he's sitting on Blind Al's couch, and you have a full body, and you don't see it at first, but they finally pan down, and he's got like baby legs. He's got like legs of a toddler. It's hilarious. The entire theater just could not stop laughing, just because of the jokes. Like, they keep showing it. And then at one point, he does this kind of basic instinct leg cross. It's crazy. Like, it really is. And there's so many cameos in this movie. And so many, like, references to other movies. Lots of X-Men references. Marvel references. There's a reference in there that I wouldn't have understood it if my roommate hadn't just recently told me about this. The guy that drew Deadpool can't draw feet. And I guess the guy's admitted it, but I wouldn't have known that. And there's a statement made in the movie about, I mean, there's a joke in there about a guy, like, you look like you were drawn by, who created you, somebody that can't draw feet or something like that. It was, but I was glad that I got that one. There are 2 mid-credit scenes. There's no end-credit scene. For anybody that's wanting to go see Deadpool, I'm trying not to spoil too much. There are 2 mid-credit scenes. There's no end-credit scene. So once that second mid-credit scene airs, once that second mid-credit scene is over, then you can leave. But it's hilarious. And it's Ryan Reynolds' way of somewhat saying he wants to go back and fix something. 2 things in particular. And that's all I'm gonna say. It's Ryan Reynolds' way of trying to make amends for two things that went very badly. So two things that may not have been received very well in his career. So it's an awesome movie. I want to go see it again, like as soon as possible. Um, and so if you're into Deadpool, go see it as soon as possible. We went to the movie theater and Friday afternoon where it was only like a handful of people in there, and it was at a movie theater, and they had just, apparently my roommate was telling me this, they had just reopened this one theater, and they had, I kid you not, they had reclining seats. They had seats that reclined, and you had a little footrest that came up, and just sitting there in the theater in a recliner watching this movie. That's the only way I want to watch movies now. That's it. No other way is good enough. So, 3 thumbs up. If I could do 3 thumbs up, I would do 3 thumbs up. 2 thumbs up and 2 big toes up for that movie. And so I guess that's gonna be it for me today. It's a very, very long video. It's been a while since I've had a video this long, and a lot of that was the new starts, the flip throughs of the books and the magazines that I got, and of course the other books that I got. And if you're not interested in any of the books and stuff, I apologize. I'll put a warning at the beginning in case nobody's interested. So yeah. I always suck at goodbyes. Plus 2, it's been a while. I need to wrap this up, get some editing on it, and post it so that I can stitch some more. So that's going to be it for me today, guys. I'm sure next month will probably be a lot shorter. So don't worry, not all these videos are super duper long. You know, if you're like new to my channel or anything, don't worry, they're not usually all this long. Normally, when I'm on my own, when I get back on my feet and stuff, I normally would do a video every week. Or maybe every couple weeks. Maybe once a month is good enough for me, because I don't like posting videos where they're just like 10-15 minutes long. I'd rather have longer videos, at least about 30 minutes. So we'll see. Still working, still at the moment not working any set amount of hours. It's supposed to pick up in June. And on top of that, the temp companies, because there's like 3 or 4 different temp companies that work out there, in addition to the people that work directly for the main company. The temp companies gave us all, each temp company gave their employees a $2 an hour raise, which is only good through the end of July. Because the main company employees, they actually get paid for production. We don't, and us temps don't. So that'll help a little bit, and plus, with the increased hours, I should be making decent money, but I don't want to just like jump in and get an apartment based on a couple of months of increased hours. I'm still actively looking for something that pays a little better that I can actually do. So there's that. Don't get me wrong, I really like the job. That's the hard part. I really, really like working there, even though, you know, I'm only an order filler. But it's hard for me to find a job where I don't mind the work. It's something different every day. I can go at my own pace, you know, and if maybe my foot starts hurting, or I'm just not feeling well, you know, I'm getting super tired or something, then I can slow down. That's another benefit of not having to worry about getting paid for production. I mean, we have to make production for the most part, But I mean, if there's a day that you just don't feel good, then you know you can go at your own pace. So I really, really like working there, and part of me wants to stay there and try to work my way up. But I know they're not quick to hire the temps. I know it takes, based on what other people have told me that work there, some people got hired after like 8 months, 9 months. Some people waited a year. So I guess it would take that long to get hired on. And I just started at the beginning of May. No, sorry, the beginning of April. So I would need to be there at least until probably after New Year. But I don't know. I really want to stay there, but at the same time, I need to get out on my own. I can't keep staying here with this friend of mine. I'm sure he wants me out of his house as much as I want to be out on my own. There's things he does that drives me up the wall. That's why I don't know if I'm ever gonna end up in a relationship again. Because I enjoy my solitude too much. And plus, I wouldn't have to worry about other people's annoying habits. So, that's going to wrap up my video for today. After I tack on everything else, you're probably looking at almost an hour and a half. Awesome. So, that being said, guys, until I see you again, probably in June, get lots of stitching in. Just be blessed all around. And I will see you guys soon. As soon as I can, I promise.